Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a pregnancy update. I am currently 21 weeks pregnant and I have yet to do a pregnancy update on this channel. It's just been a bit crazy, which I'll talk to you about in this video. It's probably not going to be as structured as what I wanted it to be because quite honestly, I haven't written anything down. I've just filmed a video for my other channel and I thought, right, this is the perfect time to do a pregnancy update. Otherwise, I'm never going to do one. So that is why I have my yarn in the background, because I'm set up for my crochet channel, but I'm sure you can forgive me for that. But anyway, if you have stumbled across my video because you're wanting to look for other pregnancy related videos, then hello, my name is Sarah-Jayne. I am mum to one little girl called Ella, who is 3 years old. And as I say, I'm currently 21 weeks pregnant with our second baby girl, which is really exciting. So if you want to hear more about pregnancy, days in the life of a family with a toddler, and also house renovations, things like that, cleaning, organising, if you like that kind of thing, then make sure that you hit that subscribe button because I would love to have you as a subscriber. Okay, so if you follow me on Instagram, which is at Sarah-Jayne Fragola, you will probably know a few of these details because I have talked a lot about them on there. I just haven't necessarily made them into, or I haven't made them into a YouTube video. So let's start with the first trimester. So the first trimester for me was really quite tricky. It was exhausting. I was very sick and I was also poorly during that time. So basically, when I fell pregnant, or around the time I found out I was pregnant, I was actually on antibiotics for, what was it? Was it tonsillitis? Yeah, it was tonsillitis. So I got tonsillitis and I ended up on antibiotics. At this point, I knew that there was a possibility that I was pregnant. So I did say to the doctor, you know, is it safe to have antibiotics while I'm pregnant? And they gave me ones which were safe to use during pregnancy, just in case. But at this point, it was far too early to say because it was too early to take a pregnancy test. So it got to around 9 DPO. And I had taken a pregnancy test in the morning because I'm that kind of person. I think I just started taking the cheapy ones from 7 DPO, even though I knew like nothing would show up. With Ella, nothing showed up until 10 DPO, but kind of satisfied my needs. So I'd taken one in the morning and nothing had shown up. And then that evening, my sister and brother-in-law had been visiting down from Scotland with my niece. And they were going home the very next day. So that evening I just kind of had the urge to test again because I would have loved to have told them face to face if we were pregnant, and have that opportunity to tell them face to face rather than on the phone again. So I decided to take a pregnancy test and I took the cheap one and I was like, okay, I swear I can see a line there. I didn't film any of this, by the way, which I really intended to film. I filmed every other one, all the ones that were negative, but this one I didn't film. But I could swear I could see a line, and I had some clear blue tests, like not the digital ones. I did have a digital one, but I decided to use one of the normal clear blue ones. And again, I could see a line. I could definitely see a line. And I took it down to my husband, Anthony, and I said to him, can you see the line here or am I going crazy? And he could see the line, but I think because it wasn't a dead set line, like really, really dark, he was just like, yeah, I don't believe that. Like, show me again when it's darker, kind of thing. And I thought, no, I can definitely see a line there. So I went ahead and did a digital. So this was 5 o'clock on 5 o'clock in the evening on 9 DPO. So I do have the clip of me filming the digital test because literally I did the digital test. I went downstairs in the living room where I think Ella was watching her iPad, Anthony was watching telly, and I was just on the sofa, like secretly doing this digital test. And then it came up, and then I just kind of went over, my hand shaking like this, and showed him, because I knew that he wouldn't believe it until he saw those words, pregnant. So I was like, I'm pregnant. Like, tears automatically filled my eyes, and we were like, okay, right, okay. I think he was still a bit shell-shocked. This time it was maybe about 5:15, and we thought, right, okay, let's get up to the family and let them know. So I went up to my mum's house, and like my sister, brother-in-law were there, my niece, my mum and stepdad, and we told them the news. It was super quick. We just kind of went up and said, oh yeah, Ella wanted to say nanai, or we just made up some news, some rubbish, and we told them. So it was really nice to tell them face to face. And it just so happened that it was right in the middle of where this whole COVID situation was easing off a little bit in the summer, but then it got worse again. So it was lucky that it fell right in the middle of that. So yeah, and then a few days later when we saw our Anthony's mum and dad, then we told them as well, because again we wanted to tell them face to face. So it wasn't as like spectacular as maybe I wanted the reveal to be. I didn't film it like I did with Ella, and I often look back on the clip that I filmed when I found out I was pregnant with Ella, and it's just a really nice special thing to watch. So I'm a bit sad that I don't have that for this baby, but I'm sure we can make many other special memories. So I wasn't really experiencing much before I found out I was pregnant. The only thing I had was a little bit of heartburn, and the only time I've ever really had that was when I was pregnant with Ella. But I could just kind of thought, well, it's a bit strange, but it's far too early to be getting heartburn, I'm sure. But other than that, I didn't have any other symptoms. I just kind of had a feeling that maybe I was. We had also tried the month previously, but not fallen pregnant, so we were extremely lucky to fall pregnant on the second month of trying. I know I'm extremely grateful for that. But I remember feeling after I found out not really that different, and I did wonder whether it was the antibiotics that I was on, or I don't know, it just felt a bit strange to me that I wasn't feeling any different, because I definitely felt different with Ella. And it got to the point where to about 7 weeks where I was like, oh, I'm not feeling anything. Should I be feeling something? Is everything okay? And then 7 weeks came, and that's when the sickness started. So I think I did really well for those first 7 weeks, and I might have jinxed myself, because first of all I started getting a really watery mouth. Like, that's really the one thing that I had, was watery mouth, probably from about 5 weeks. And then that turned into nausea, and then into sickness. And with Ella, I tended to be sick in the morning and at night, but this time it was all throughout the day, multiple times a day. It was absolutely exhausting. I mentioned it to the midwife. I think I mentioned it to the doctor as well, but nobody kind of brought up going on medication for it, and I didn't really realise that I could just ask for it. So I kind of just had to put up with it, and it honestly was horrendous. During this time, we were trying to pack up the house because we were moving. We moved when I was 16 weeks pregnant, and then also I had a book deadline which was supposed to be due beginning of November, which I ended up having to push back because this sickness was just exhausting. And I just literally kind of stopped for that entire time. I was just a shell of a person, in all honesty. So that lasted between 7 weeks up till about 16 weeks. And then once that kind of cleared up, I also started getting a cough and I ended up with a chest infection. So yeah, the chest infection started around 15 weeks. So as the sickness was stopping, I got this chest infection and then that carried on. So it's just been a little bit extreme because I am still suffering from that chest infection. I was tested for COVID multiple times and it all came back negative. But yeah, it's just been one thing after another. Pregnancy symptom wise though, it's just really that sickness and the tiredness, and then also lower back ache. I've had pain in my upper back, but that's from the chest infection. I had pleurisy and then pulled a muscle. But pain in my lower back is probably one of the main symptoms at the moment that I'm getting from the pregnancy. And heartburn. Heartburn has been, off and on quite bad. So I've been taking Rennies for that. Other people have suggested a few other things, but Rennies seems to be working okay for me at the moment. But yeah, that just kind of seems to sum everything up for this 21 weeks. And I think because it's just been one thing after another, the sickness, the chest infection, the house move, busy work, I just haven't had a chance to sit down and film one of these, which is a little bit disappointing. I think my first one was 18 weeks with Ella, but now 21. So I'm going to make a conscious effort to do an update every few weeks and be a bit more specific with what's going on. I'll start making notes of things that are happening. But yeah, that is the update so far. We found out that she was a little girl at, how many weeks was it? I think we went at about 17 weeks. We went for the early private scan like we did with Ella, and find out that we were having a second girl. I have to admit, I'm slightly terrified because Ella is amazing. She's so highly spirited, but with that high spirit comes very high highs and very low lows. She's exactly like me. And sometimes if you're feeling sick and unwell, it's kind of hard to deal with. So I kind of am terrified for a second girl to have so much sass in the house. I have spoken a bit about on this channel my mental health since having Ella, which has really suffered. I've suffered quite a lot with anxiety since having Ella. It's got a lot worse, and I really didn't want to go into being a parent for the second time and make that anxiety worse. So in the last month, I have actually started counselling to try and get myself in a better headspace, to try and work through that a bit better and be mentally stronger for when second baby comes along. And that's really important for me to work on right now. I'm also working on getting my business all set up and ready so that I can have a few months off with the new baby and have a bit more structure when it comes to working. I work from home, and we are also having we're renovating this house, which we've just moved into while we're living here. So I just know that it's going to be a lot, and I just really needed to make sure that my head was on straight. I'll probably do another video separate to this, talking all about my counselling experience. In some countries you might just call it therapy. But yeah, I think I'll do a whole separate video on that, and talk to you about my processes, what we've talked about, because if it helps other people, then I'm happy to share as well. Even if it makes you pick up that phone and make yourself an appointment for yourself. But yeah, I'll do a completely different video for that. I will show you my 21-week bump in a moment. I have been taking photos since I found out. I wouldn't say I'm particularly, I thought I was a bit like showing a bit less than with Ella this time round, and then I got to about 20 weeks, so it's been a couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden it's just like bam, it's there. So yeah, I'll show you my bump. Let me just move my microphone out the way. Okay, so here we go. This is baby girl number 2, Bump. Bring these leggings down. So here she is from the side and from the front and the other side. My belly button is really sore at the moment. When it touches things, if it touches like the counter worktop, because I'm just that size, it just feels really tender. And sometimes it just, even just something touching it is just horrible. My belly button didn't pop out last time with Ella. It just got really wide. So I think that might happen again. But this is Bump at 21 weeks. So there we go. Sorry this has been slightly rambly. Again, this is just an impromptu video just because I needed to get it filmed. Otherwise, I probably would have put it off for longer. I promise my next ones will try and be a little bit more structured. If you have any questions because you think I've missed any information, then leave me a comment down below and I'll try and respond to you. Or if you have something you want me to talk about next time, then just leave your suggestions below. I have just remembered actually as I've sat down, because I've stood up and sat down, I am now getting out of breath. I thought that was a pregnancy related symptom, but the doctors told me that it shouldn't be at the moment because baby's still lower and nothing's kind of pushed up yet. So I think that's kind of a chest infection related issue, because again I'm still having ongoing issues. Also as well, by the way, I'm having blood tests this week to check my iron levels and things as well, but I'll update you on that next time. Well, thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. Also make sure you're subscribed to keep up to date with all of my latest videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you again next time. Bye.